Alright, welcome back to Blank. We will continue from where we left off. So far we've met two versions of the Shade. And now, we continue on to the next. Okay, so back to the you could tackle things on, try to change the white world directly, paint it over with colors, then maybe it won't be so bad. Blue is a good color, isn't it? Ah. Last time we got yellow, now we got blue. Let's see what color's next. Calming like a cloudless sky or the sea. You don't want to be calm? Well, it's your choice. So what will you do? Okay, so we've gone down the familiar route already. That's where both of our other options were. So now I think let's make the world feel magical. Interesting. It's a nice choice, very inspiring. How did you think of something like this? I suppose you wouldn't remember. Good job in any case. Things aren't so eerie now, are they? Why don't you walk around? Observe your own creation. See what you can find. They're still here. They're not doing much, are they? Just being, moving slightly. There's more than one. How many do you think? I think we already read this. Like, there's hundreds. Think they look like ghosts. But you could change them. Make them into someone. Let's make a commit. We have not chosen no yet either. So that's another thing. Let me just readjust myself. Okay. Now what kind of companion do you wish for? Someone... Okay, so... I see. Someone who can provide me with material things is actually the option we had last time. We just also had the other... what was it, like comfort option or something? So now we're being given one that we already did and then one we haven't, which is someone who can take me on exciting adventures. So let's do that. Then it's time for me to go. Good luck. Before you, the shade ripples and shifts, somehow gaining substance. Oh! Okay, he's pretty. He's a pretty green guy. I like his hair, I like his jewelry. The man before you smiles brightly. Well met. He looks around slightly. What a beautiful place. I can only imagine what treasures and secrets it holds. Why have you summoned me? I want to go on adventures. This world is empty and boring, so I need to make it exciting. His lips stretch into a wider smile. Wonderful. I have many ideas. We'll need equipment, of course, and locations to explore, as well as people to encounter. He looks around, catching sight of a few of the other shades. His brow twitches slightly. Perhaps he remembers being like them, and is upset by it. He makes no mention of that, however. They will do well enough as mindless assistants and enemies. You may tweak them slightly, give them a script to follow. He steps closer to you, his eyes sparkling with excitement. There's much to prepare. We should begin our task. Can I make the text speed faster? Yes. With the Shade's guidance, you wish for a wide array of items to aid in your upcoming adventures. Oh, that's just to make it automatically show up. I mean, I can make it, like, slightly, like, just barely not auto-appearing. You also alter the shades for your needs. Unlike your companions, their shape doesn't change, but they at least seem to now register their surroundings and obey commands. The world you already made is well suited to your endeavors, so it remains as it is. All the while, the shades act warmly, visibly pleased with your company, and excited by your task. The shade, not shades. The shade, this shade. Our beloved shade. He hardly seems confused by the place you're in, or your power over it, so you relax too, focusing on setting the grounds for your adventures. I need to pause for a second to drink some water. How much time passes? You have no way to keep time here. You created a sun, yeah, we've read that. The breeze is even slightly warm, no matter where you go. Your adventures largely take place in the nature. In the nature? In nature. They largely take place in the same places, in fact. You've already been on this path. You've already walked it in search of treasure. Ran on it towards an enemy, stopped on it to talk to a shade in a friendly role. But your world is limited, really. Your world has boundaries still. In some areas, the endless white reappears. The shade suggests to leave them alone. Your energy must be spent on your adventures, and those that can be had in your world you already have, with the items you've already made and the shades you've already tweaked. You shouldn't create anything else. Why bother? You have everything you need already. You've realized you only have one set of clothes. You're not quite sure what they look like, as you're not quite sure what you look like either. But you've wondered if you shouldn't change your outfit. Shouldn't you? Sweat? You've asked the shade about this. About your body, how you don't get tired. Why? Is it a dream? Should dreams last that long? Does that mean you might wake up? The shade told you it's part of the magic of it. Wouldn't your adventure be slowed down if you needed rest? Wouldn't it be bothersome if you needed a change of clothes? Isn't this the perfect adventure? It's supposed to, you what am I reading? Sometimes I go back sometimes when I'm like going back and editing these, I notice myself completely like misread sentences and not even pick up on it. And I'm just like, wow, I really am just inventing my own words. Like I'm not illiterate. I'm just tapping into like a higher power, like higher vision for what the words should be. I'm not illiterate. I'm enlightened. You suppose it is perfect. The shades need to be told what to do, and the world must be prepared, so he and you must plan each quest in advance. And then it plays out, flawlessly, according to the script, without any mistake. Without any surprises. It's not really an adventure, it's more like a play. Without anything of interest. By your side, the shade touches your arm, pulling you out of your thoughts. You should take care to stay focused. We're on our way to a great battle after all. We could even be ambushed. But not really. We know what's going to happen. His expression falters slightly. Well, we have to. The shades... Excuse me. The shades have no will of their own. He grows agitated and stops in his tracks. I can organize the next adventure by myself. I'll think of something. Something you won't expect. No, it's fine. Are you not having fun? We've gone on so many adventures, found so many treasures. I made those treasures, and we keep hiding and finding the same ones. It's just repetitive. But what else are we supposed to do? Good question. I don't know. Let's just keep going for now. He still follows, nervously hovering behind you. He's visibly upset, and you should probably apologize. He's your only companion after all. Can you really afford to upset him? More time passes, and things continue as they are. Scripted. Boring. The shade stands by your side, walking forth? What? I think in my brain I was going to say walking back and forth, but instead I just replaced back with forth. Like I said, enlightened. Inventing my own story. Walking back from a recently finished adventure. He doesn't let you plan the quests anymore. He says he wants to surprise you. But the quests are always the same. Walk to the same places. Find something. Fight something. There are even fewer places to go now. The shade looks to the endless white with concern, and it draws closer. The world seems to be unraveling, and so is the shade. He nervously walks by your side, glancing between you and the endless white. Did you have fun? Truly tried to make this one different. Your silence agitates him further. I can improve if you give me guidance. Should I make the next one longer, more complex? We could recruit more shades. I'm sure there are some left. What difference would it make? None of this is real. None of it matters. Everything we do, it builds up to nothing. It's meaningless. And it's going to end soon, isn't it? You look beyond him, at the boundary where the white eats away at your world. It won't last forever. It'll all come crashing down. Please. It will go on if you just wish for it to. If you could just be happy with this, with me. If you could just be satisfied with the things I do for you. Before. You used to dream, no? You dreamed of great adventures, of magic and mystery and romance. You dreamed of being the protagonist, destined for something, set on a clear path. Stories were more simple than your life, the obstacles were frightening, but the heroes always prevailed. Life was overly complicated and mundane at the same time. Inventing new sentences, yet again! And mundane, all the same. It's like I'm just like, I see a word and then I just fill in the rest of the sentence without reading it. I don't know why. Don't ask me questions. But you enjoyed it, didn't you? It wasn't all good, and it wasn't all bad. Do you remember? Satisfied? Is this what life is supposed to be about? Just being satisfied? Nothing we do even matters. I can't feel my body. I can't see my body. It doesn't matter. He yells out, and the world seems to shake. It's gotten so small. There's not enough room left for all of the shades. They hover around you, and the shade tries to brush them off in vain. Just stop thinking about it, please. He reaches for you through the other shades. What are they even doing here? Hovering, walking, like going somewhere, fulfilling a task, all clad in white. The shade's hand can't reach you anymore. Too much white stands between you. I think this is ending. No! No, please, take my hand. No. I want it to end. Aw, I like that shot of him too. It always ends like this. White. That's the normal state of this world. Do you know why? It's because of you, you know. White is something you're used to. The world is completely white again. The shade disappears, the world unravels. You forget. Anything now? You remember being in pain? Yes, that did happen, so what are you going to do now? You could tackle things head on, try to change the white world directly, paint it over with colors, then maybe it won't be so bad. Green's a good color, isn't it? Lively, like a lush, deep forest. A bit too lively, you think? Yes, that can be dangerous. So what will you do? Oh, let's make this world unlike anything I have ever seen. How strange. No, it's not a bad choice. It's just unusual. How do you think of something like this? I suppose you wouldn't remember. Good job in any case. Things aren't so eerie now, are they? So why don't you walk around? Observe your own creation, see what you can find. I mean, I don't know why I keep rereading that. Yeah. I'm still curious what will happen if I say no. We'll do that on the next try. Then what kind of a companion do you wish for? Exciting adventures, or fill the world with wonderful... Was that the blue? Wait. With wonderful things. Was that the blue one? Then it's time for me to go. Good luck. Is this a new one, or is it the blue? Oh, this is oh, I guess it was different. Cause it's like the blue one gave us things. I don't remember the exact phrasing, but he looks very pretty in this one. I love this look, actually. I think the green and the red are my favorites for his design. The man before you smiles lightly. Ah, what a pleasant sight. Is the music louder now? I'm a little bit concerned. Is the music too loud? Hopefully it's not gonna overpower me. Please. You look around slightly. And so is the world you've made. How creative you are. His eyes return to your form. Am I to aid you in some way? I want to fill this world with creations. I need your help. His lips stretch into a knowing smile. Yes, I expected this much. Then what is it you wish for? Together you imagine strange, wonderful things, many of them bearing no names or resemblance to things you already know. Some are easier to explain. The shade seems to favor colorful, magical birds, which fly in the sky happily. They land on strange flowers which bloom on the ground. The world you already made seems to please the shade, so you leave it as it is. All the while the shade acts warmly, visibly pleased by your company and the things you're creating. He hardly seems confused by the place you're in, or your power over it. So you relax too, and focus on creating strange and wonderful things. Yeah, let's make nice things. We're artists. How much time passes? You have no way to keep time here. You can create this one. The shade's birds sing continuously, never needing to rest. The weather never changes, always comfortably warm. Like the birds, you never leave this spot. Your world has boundaries still. In summer is the shade suggests you ignore it. Focus on your creations, and the world matters less than your lively animated creations. So you do. You create flowers for the already full field. I was gonna say fulfilled, and then I was like, no. I'm a little bit sleepy. Birds flying into the already full sky. Critters and beasts that walk into the distance. Into the white. Away from you. The shade tells you that it's fine. You gave them life, but you don't need them by your side. And you have no need for sleep. You never slept, eaten, drank, done anything that you know you should need. Why? Is it a dream? Should I... The shade told you are both gods, and that gods don't need to sleep. You don't feel like a god. You make things you care little for. Maybe it was fun at first. Now it becomes an eerie routine. You make something, it leaves your side, you make the next thing. Each thing you create feels less inspired, less creative. A copy of the last thing, but a little worse. By your side, the shade touches your arm, pulling you out of your thoughts. What are you thinking about? Can we do something else? This is a bit boring. His expression falters slightly. What else could we possibly do? The world still has a lot of blank areas. Maybe if we made them into something, we could find out more about this place. He interrupts you, speaking in a harsh tone. What is there to know? We are gods in our divine garden. Is that not enough for you? I mean, here's the thing, it's like, I feel like, at least in this scenario, it would make sense for us to be like, yeah, let's go to the white areas and let's make more things to fill them in. Like, what's stopping you, bro? What is stopping us from expanding this little world we have? Something is sketchy here. Is that not enough for you? His sudden outburst is uncharacteristic. In the time you spent together, he's been a happy, warm man. But now his brow is knit in anger, and his hands wrapped tight around the bird he's begun to create. I'm sorry. He falls silent, focusing on his craft. His eyes don't meet yours again. He's visibly upset, and you should probably apologize. He's your only companion, after all. Can you really afford to upset him? More time passes and things continue as they are. You create the same things as before, the exact same things. The shade sits by your side as he always does. He still creates birds, but he no longer sets them free. They sit in a multitude of cages, some large, some small. They no longer sing. Some of the ones that were created earlier and released in the world have vanished, and so have some of your flowers. The endless white eats at them and swallows them whole. It draws ever closer. The world seems to be unraveling, and so is the shade. He looks up from his task and speaks. You're not making anything? No. If you have no ideas of your own, you can help me. How? He motions to the caged birds. I could use more cages. Why? Why are you keeping them in those? Didn't you say your creations don't need to stay by our side? His eyes narrow and his gaze darkens. I previously thought so. I thought I could be detached, an observer, creating and then only watching. But I cannot suffer for things I love to be taken from me. He pauses, then gives you a pointed look. So craft cages. I am in need of them. No. I feel uncomfortable. I don't want you to do this anymore. His previously calm expression contorts into a grimace. Are you still upset over what we discussed? Your desire to sleep, eat, do those useless things that amount to nothing at all? It's not useless, it's enjoyable. Do you not understand the price they come with? Suffering, death. He motions to the world around you. You'd rather be weak and mortal than have this world of our own making? You look beyond him, at the boundary where the white eats away at your world. It won't last forever. It'll all come crashing down. This world is dying too. Only because you don't appreciate it. It would be fine if only you could be satisfied. Before You used to dream blah 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 blah. Wait, what? Wait, no, wait, there's new things this time. Wait. Before you used to dream, no? Of creating beautiful things. But not life. But not life. Creatures and the divine things you've made here. No, simple things. Colors on paper, clay given shape, words on a page. That's an oopsie on my part. It was difficult. You felt ashamed at times that your creations weren't what you'd pictured them to be. That you weren't as good as the others, that you weren't as skilled or clever or creative, that you wouldn't be remembered after you. But you enjoyed it, didn't you? It wasn't all good and it wasn't all bad. Do you remember? Satisfied? Is this what life is supposed to be about, just being satisfied? I don't think so. He rises from his seat, dropping his creation to the ground lifeless. Why must you be so stubborn? You wish for this. But what? You've changed your mind? Something emerges from the ground around you. He caged me. A cage. If being my fellow god isn't satisfying to you, then you'll have to be my songbird. I think you'll be happier this way. And then things can last forever. Beyond the bars, beyond the shade, the endless white lurks, ready to devour. If only it were that easy. Didn't someone cling to you like this before? Didn't they wish for you to stay? But life doesn't work that way. No, life doesn't last forever. No, it's already come to an end. The boundless white devours your surroundings instantly, as if summoned by your words. The shade himself seems to get swallowed by it. Maybe you are too. His hand reaches for your cage through the white, but it misses. Something pulls you away from each other, and the farther the shade gets, the more white stands between you. The shade disappears, the world unravels. You forget. Is this the last time you think? I feel like I should save. I haven't saved in a while. Well, we'll see. So, what are you gonna do now? You could tackle things head on, try to change the white world directly, paint it over with colors, then maybe it won't be so bad. Pink's a good color. Was that supposed to be pink? That was more like red to me. But I suppose. The color of love. Too much love can be a bad thing? You're not wrong. Maybe you can leave it white, though. I know it's scary. I know you're confused. But maybe. Maybe it's time to stop running. You've got to face it eventually, you know. You have to face him. You don't know what I'm talking about? It's okay. It's okay to forget. You've been doing that for a long time. So what will you do? I just want to see what, I think leaving it blank might be how to get, the other version of him, I guess. But, I'm curious if, just saying no, it won't make anything. Does that take me back? Or... Yeah, let's go. No, I don't want to. Really? But you made such an interesting world. Don't you want someone to share it with? I see. So you're ready then. Maybe you didn't understand yet. Maybe you still don't know. But it's okay. You'll be okay. Then it's time for me to go. Good luck. For you, the shade ripples and shifts, somehow gaining substance. Oh, yeah, okay, this is how. Okay. But also, what would have happened if we stayed in the white? Whatever. I mean, we'll do this. The man stares at you, his eyes glassy and gray. I like his hair the best in this one, I think. Despite his having a body, he still appears to be formless, incomplete. His mouth opens and his hand reaches out, but no words are said. Hello? He takes a slight step back, as if startled. His eyes still meet yours, seeming to search for something. His mouth opens once more, and a sound comes out. It is raspy, strained, and unintelligible. I don't understand what you're saying. The shade takes another step, and it is now your turn to step back. You don't want him to grab hold of you. You don't know why, but the thought of it makes you feel complete and utter dread. Like his touch would bring you death, like it would be the end. The voice of a Irish struggle tweets. The voice that spoke to you is gone, and the world feels emptier than ever before. Now it's just you and the shade. He tries to speak again. The horrible sounds that leave his mouth make you wince. Is this your fault? You half-heartedly brought him to life. He looks half-heartedly made too. Maybe you feel guilt for an instant, regret. Maybe you should wish for him to be better, wish for him to be complete. But then he reaches again and his index finger briefly makes contact with your form. A disgusted shiver runs through you. His touch feels like it might unravel you. Is this what he's trying to do? Don't come any closer. Your command shocks him and his blurry eyes widen, but he still approaches. You take a stumbling step back and you don't want to turn your back to him, but neither do you want to face him any longer. You bolt when his hand reaches once more. I don't want to just leave him. Why is it that you're not tired? You've been running for so long. There's no way to keep track of time, of course, but it feels like hours. The shade is followed. At times he disappears, and you take a rest, despite your body not needing one. There are plants and stones for you to hide behind here, so when you stop running, you hide. When the shade's hand reaches through your hiding spot, and for you rise and run again. How many times have you gone through this routine now? You're never out of breath. Your legs aren't sore, heavy, or tense, despite how much you run. You're not even sweating. Are you even breathing? Then this must be a dream, a nightmare. And the shade is a beast who carries death. How long will it be until you wake? How much longer must you do this? You're resting again. Though your body doesn't need it, your mind welcomes the calm. You walk in the open. How nice it is just to walk. If you close your eyes, you can almost imagine that you are alone. He's returned. Does he look more desperate than he did before? He moves his mouth still, and you're fortunately too far from him to hear the gurgles and creaks of his dreadful throat. It feels like if you heard him, and if his speech made sense to you, you would never be free of this place. So you turn on your heels and you run again. Stop leaving him! Go back for him! More than hours must have passed. Feels like days, weeks. The shade sounds are more lengthy now. He strings them together almost like words. Almost. He's come close to catching you many times. Yet when he's close enough to touch you, he always stops. His hand hangs in the air, not daring to reach any farther, as if he doesn't want to harm you. But that's not possible. His words will harm you more than anything in this world. And here he is again. His mouth opens, and you turn on your heel, ready to run. Stop. You freeze. Why? Why does it feel like you know this voice? You've heard many versions of this voice. It's been bright, arrogant, cheerful, disappointed. But despair suits it better. Yes, desperate is... Wait, did I say desperate or despair? Wait, what? No, it was despair. It was despair, okay. Yes, desperate is what you remember his voice to be. Are you ready to remember everything? It'll hurt. But we've been putting it off for a very long time. Maybe it's finally time. His gaze meets yours. Why does he look so relieved that you've stopped? Why does he look at you this way? Desperately. Hungrily. Please. Stay. It's difficult for him to speak. Each word seems to cut through his throat. He seems to be in so much pain. Then why? Why does he keep trying? How many times has he tried? How much has he suffered? His lips move once more. Wah, I can't, stop and save. I want to listen to him. I don't want to keep running. He hesitates, seemingly surprised you're still standing here. I have waited. He touches his throat rather than pained. He seems upset that his words are coming out so slowly. Waited for you. He pauses. Do you remember me yet? The question is accompanied by an extremely, incredibly sad expression. He's crying. The shade. No. This man. Who is he to you? I'm sorry. I don't I don't understand who you are, or why we're here. I don't even remember who I am. His shoulders sag. I see. Do you remember the other me's? You a quiz. I vaguely remember. 4 men, and the worlds we crafted together. But it all ended so terribly, and I remember so little. I forgot each time. All I have are fragments and a feeling. There's something terribly wrong, isn't there? Oh, he's crying. He nods, and the movement causes his tears to run free. Yes. But this is the first time. His voice breaks. Sorry. It's all right. Do you want to sit? Take your time to speak. I'll listen. His eyes widen in disbelief, quickly as if expecting you to change your mind. He sits on the ground. You sit down by his side, your bodies almost touching. You wait for a long time, but you've got more than enough of that, don't you? After some time, his words come out a little more easily, seemingly with less pain. Do you remember anything before this? Not anything big, just feelings. I remember that my life wasn't easy, that I don't have much money to spare. But I think I like to paint and read. He nods eagerly. Do you know me from before? He hesitates. I do. I have to ask you something. He's silent for some time, and his voice is weak when he speaks again. Do you remember dying? I think I died a few times here. No. Before. We both died. That's how we got here. Yes. Do you remember now? I don't understand. We can't be dead. But don't you remember? Life before. Our life. I don't remember anything about myself. My name, what I liked, what I dreamed of. But I remember you. Do you remember being ill? You remember the pain, don't you? I don't remember the time before you were ill. All I remember is the bed you laid on, the white sheets, the white halls, the endless white. But I'm here, I'm conscious and you're here. But you don't feel anything, do you? We don't sleep, don't eat, don't tire. He looks you up and down, his brow knit. Once more, he hesitates before speaking, and his voice grows more quiet, as if that would lessen the blow. And you don't have a body. I don't? You try to look down at yourself, but all you see is white. You've never seen yourself here, but not having a body? How are you moving? How are you speaking? You must have a body. You're still refusing to see it? Do you not remember your reflection in the lake? There was nothing there, just another shade. You're a shade? But the shades can't talk, and they don't have free will. I can change the world. I can make things. I'm not. You're special. You always were. I remember you were special to me. When you were ill, you were in so much pain, and I felt pain too. So I'm dead? That's it? We're dead? We're in hell? He freezes, seemingly never had that thought. Hell? I don't know. Do you think this is hell? Isn't it? I keep forgetting. I keep making you into someone. It's you every time, isn't it? I keep making you and we keep arguing and then I die again and it starts over and over. But this is the first time. The first time you spoke to me. This me. The real me. Really? How long have we been here? Why do I keep forgetting? Why do you keep changing? I'm so confused. Did I do something horrible enough to deserve this? You wish you had eyes. If you did, you could shed tears. What did I do to deserve this? You didn't do anything wrong. I don't remember you ever doing anything wrong. You were kind, even when you were suffering. What illness did I have? I don't remember. Something slow. You visited the hospital so many times. I came with you. His hands in yours. His tears falling onto your skin. His words of comfort despite his own fear. Aren't you starting to remember? So what now? We're dead, what can we possibly do? He lifts his hand and it draws close to you. Would his hand go right through your white, formless figure if he didn't stop halfway? I think you have power here, and this place changes according to your wishes. I change too. You can build something here, but it never lasts. I always die and it starts all over again. Because you always know, at the back of your mind, you've always known something was off. The world, the endless white, it obeys you. You mean I caused us both to die each time? It was my fault? He hesitates. I think it doesn't matter. The other versions of me, brought it on themselves. But I made them that way. He lets out a chuckle, and the clear, soft sound surprises you. It's so unlike how his voice has been so far. You wonder if that's how he sounded before all of this. We won't get very far by blaming ourselves. But I'm so grateful to speak to you again. He falters, a clear look of shame on his face. I've missed this. Being me and not a false version. Being with you for real. I didn't like being them, pretending, playing a role. His voice wavers. It hurt to see you suffer. When you fell in the lake, I wanted to save you, but I was too weak, too confused. When the shades pulled us apart too, I could never reach you. I hated being the pink one, being condescending, trapping you. The blue one did it too, but he didn't treat you as harshly. There's a long pause, and his shame seems to deepen. But each one is still me. I know that when you were ill, I wished to be by your side all the time. I wanted to give you something you wanted, and I wanted to keep you with me. I don't remember how I died. But I wonder if I didn't, if I followed you purposefully. Maybe I started this. You said not to blame ourselves, but for what it's worth, aren't you hurt too? He touches his throat with the tip of his fingers. Am I? You look like you're in pain. You couldn't speak before. Yes, this form is not like the others. It is wounded. But that is true to who I am, I think. He falls silent, his eyes... His eyes? What? His eyes? He falls silent, his hand still reaching for his own throat, as if only now noticing its state. You allow him a few minutes of rest before speaking again. What do we do now? I don't know. I think the loop won't start again. He looks up around you. Doesn't the endless white feel more calm? Maybe now that we know the truth, maybe we can make something long-lasting. Do you really think it would go differently this time? He nods, perhaps too eagerly. Yes. If I am me, and you're willing to speak to me, then it has to. But I still don't understand what this place is, or why we're here. I don't even know who I am. I see. You still don't remember your name? Do you? What's your name? Oh, I am Iris. I was gonna do Iris like I usually do, but I'm like, no, this feels more serious. Yes, you finally, no. I finally remember. My name is Iris. My life was unremarkable, and then it was tragic. I didn't have everything I wanted. My life wasn't free of obstacles. I envied the characters of the stories I read, and I wished my art could be something more than it was. When I fell ill, it felt so unfair. Why me? Why so early? Why so fast? Why did some people have wealth, health, and happiness, and I had so little? But I did have him. My life wasn't perfect. My life was much too short, and its end wasn't fair or happy. But through it all, he was there, crying with me, hurting with me. Even now, even in this form, he's here. Even now, his hand reaches for me. His hand can't make things easy. It can't remove the obstacles I will face. It can't bring me back to life. but it can hold mine through everything, and it will never let go. Iris. I'm Iris. His eyes widen. The tears in them make them seem less glassy, more alive. Iris. Of course, you're Iris. His tears flow and meet the corners of his lips as they stretch into a smile. I've missed you so much. His hand hovers near me again. This time I reach out. I don't feel the touch of his skin or his warmth, but I feel his relief, his joy, and that's enough. We can't make the real world. What we create won't be the same. I understand. It will be difficult. There's so much to do, so many shades. They were alive too once. We have to help them. We can't make this place. I'm not sure how to do this. My attempts so far, I haven't done very well. But let's try. Together. He nods weakly, and a tear falls onto our joined hands. We have nothing but time. I've spent countless days, months, and years unable to reach you. Unable to make you see me. So as long as your hand is in mine, as long as you look at me, I'll stay by your side, and I'll call your name. Until one day we can stand in a place we call home, and I can look upon your face. And you remember my name. So let's start trying, Iris. Okay, I won't lie to you, I had to compose myself a bit to finish this off. I really enjoy stories like that, where it's just love like that, you know? They get to me. I enjoyed this game a lot. I decided to just see if there's like a difference if you click the option that gives you like just staying in the white void. But it seems like it's playing out much the same. If you pick the same option where it's like the like no, you don't want to make one of the other ones where it's just his actual form. It plays out much the same, except you're just not like hiding behind anything because there's nothing to hide behind when you're running. But outside of that, it seems like it was just a change in the setting. But other than that, it's all the same. I enjoyed this game a lot. I think it ended up being a good choice to play. And I hope that you enjoyed it as much as me. I'll see you next time.